Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to Color and Chat with Joanna. And today I'm not coloring, I'm diamond painting, but still chatting. So, how you guys doing? Are you good? I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope you're safe and happy and cool or warm, depending on the temperature as to where you are. It's so strange when you I was talking to a friend over in Aussie, and she's like, I'm wearing a sweater and a hat. I'm freezing. And I was like, oh my God, why? And then I forgot the climate is not, they're basically having their winter. So, hey, all you Aussies, bundle up. And I hope that you're all good. I'm working on my hipster terrier. He is, hold on, this is what he's going to look like when he's finished. In case this is your first time visiting with me, welcome to the channel. And if you're coming back, God bless your brave soul. I'm so glad you came back to see me. We're working on the hipster Boston Terrier. I'm doing all animals with glasses right now. And so he is going to be named Princeton because he looks like I could just see him on a Princeton University, uh, school campus. We visit family in Princeton, and oh my God, it is just so beautiful up there in New Jersey, and so persnickety in certain neighborhoods. And he looks a little persnickety, doesn't he? He is a rather persnickety little dog. I have a funny story about a Boston Terrier. um, Long-suffering husband, who is home today, is just came in with hounds that are going to, oh God, you guys are running around in circles. They're going berserk. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, they just came in from a walk, and clearly George thinks he's a hound sniffing dog now. But anyway, long-suffering and husband and I took our dogs to a, sort of like a city event, at a local park. Um, and it was just like a springtime party, kind of Easter party kind of thing. And everyone was there. And everyone was there with their dogs. And our two dogs just love, having playtime because they were, really well socialized at the time and everything. And this this is back when I was known in my neighborhood as the cake lady because I was always making cakes for everybody. And then I did, the wedding cakes and all of that. So anyway, we all put on our, Easter bonnets and our little fluffy clothes and thought it would be so great. And our dogs are just, hanging out. They're on their leashes. They're behaving. They're having a good time. They're watching everything and playing with other dogs. And all of a sudden, this little Boston Terrier comes bolting out of nowhere. Hi, long-suffering husband.
Hello.
He says hello. I remember the Boston Terrier that tried to attack and murder Lucy. Anyway, this is when we had Lucy and Gandalf, and I'm not kidding. This Boston Terrier came bolting like a gangster out of nowhere and attacked my dogs. Now, Gandalf is a big boy, okay? Like, he came in at about 220, 240, depending on before or after Thanksgiving dinner, if you weighed him. And, yeah. He looks at this little guy who comes at him just, teeth out. I mean, it was like a psycho Boston Terrier freaking nightmare movie. I was like, what is that? So I had to get between two dogs. And I never, ever, ever want to do that. And I don't ever, ever, ever want to recommend anybody else do it. Don't get between two dogs. put a mop stick between two dogs, put a pillow, but don't put your body in there. No matter how little or how big they are. Because the only dogs that ever bit me in my life were little dogs. And this Boston Terrier was one of them. He took a little nip at me, and the other one was a dachshund and bit me through my shoe because he was just like all scared and terrified and having a really bad day. Anyway, it was okay. We worked it out. But most of the time, little dogs have big dog brains, and they think that if they're loud enough and aggressive and annoying enough, that they can save themselves from something bigger than them. And I mean, Gandalf looked at the thing like it was a gnat and was like, Lucy was like, get it away from me. What is wrong with her? Oh my God. Then I looked up, and the person who owned the dog was a customer, a client of mine. I'd probably done 8 or 10 cakes for her. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And the one person who came to help me when, because John is like holding the leashes, they're starting to get twisted around each other. There's a lot of commotion, there's a lot of movement happening. And I just had to grab the dog by the back of the nape of the neck so that he wouldn't bite me or she wouldn't bite me, and just kind of hold her aside. And she didn't even weigh 10 pounds. She was like the smallest, cutest little Boston Terrier, except for her, her manners were a little out of whack. And you could tell she was just, not meant to be there. Anyway, so this woman comes along and she's helping me. And it turns out that the woman who's helping me just to hold Lucy's leash for me is the mayor of our town. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, thank you so much. And she's like, Saper Texan. I mean, this woman's Texan, you know what I mean? And she says, darling, oh my Lord. I cannot believe that little monster from hell. He was going to take a chunk out of that poor... I mean, your dog could have just snapped his little head off with one bite. I'll never forget the way she talked, because every time we saw her, like speaking in any capacity, it was like something out of, Steel Magnolias, because she had come from, I think she came from Georgia to Texas, and then the accent really got screwed up. So she had, I'm fixing to go to the store, and I'm fixing to make this sidewalk better for y'all to walk on. How can you walk your dogs on this nasty, nasty sidewalk? We can fix it and make it fix it. We're fixing to make that better. Anyway, she was a love. She was really charming. And, she said, I just can't believe your dog. I mean, just one of them could have just snapped his little head off. And then our whole dog-friendly park party would have been like a bloodbath here. And I was like, well, you don't have to worry about that. I fed them today, so they're not even hungry. So they weren't going to eat the dog. But I felt so bad because the woman who had the terrier was my client. And she was so ashamed. She just didn't even call me anymore, for cakes. She was like, oh my God, I don't do anybody's cakes but yours. Everybody screams about them, and everybody wants your card, and I don't even share you with anybody. And I was like, well, you can. I mean, I won't get so busy that I'll forget about you. But anyway, she just couldn't handle the shame. And I sent her a cake, and I said, it's okay, it's okay. And I made a cake with the face of a Boston Terrier. And it had a little sunflower on her hair. I think I have a picture of the cake somewhere. I'll post it on Instagram for you guys. But, I mean, I will never forget how scared I was at the moment of my dogs doing exactly what that mayor said that they could have done if they wanted to, but they didn't, And it's such a... Whenever you have dogs the size of my dogs, and you take those dogs out in public, it's like you're rolling dice. I mean, it's a very, very I have to have all my confidence and peace of mind, and the stars have to be aligned, and the moon and Jupiter have to be playing together, and yada, yada, yada. It all has to go in balance. There's a whole thing that has to happen before I ever put a leash on them and walk outside the door, because I know how people are. They will try to make false accusations about my dogs, or they will come and just run up to them and start petting them without even asking me. So it's when you have a dog, it's your job to protect them from anybody else as much as it's their job to protect you from any harm or foul. I don't know why these little beads keep shifting. Like they think they can just do what they want. How rude. Anyway, so it's always that I don't worry about my dogs. I worry about people coming, to my dogs or at my dogs. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God, that is so good. I am drinking cream soda, guys. Cream soda. It's like vanilla heaven. Anyway, so you have to have the mindset of knowing you might have someone who has a fear of dogs. And I mean, we've had issues, not a lot of them. I would say 99% of the time when we go out, I keep people at bay. Hi, how are you? Please ask to pet them. They have a big round patch on their vest. Ask to pet me. I'm working. And the reason I do that is to make sure that they're not frightened by, I mean, can you imagine strangers just walking up and grabbing you and going, hi, how are you? And hugging you and, kissing you, and you don't even know them? I mean, dogs are like that too, especially dogs with incredible intuition. And my dogs are intuitive, like they're born and bred to be intuitive. They're guardian animals, they're stock animals, they're always on guard to see what's going on. And then they will look, I just stuck my arm right in it. Ugh. And then they just, as soon as everything's safe and good, they just relax. But it's their job, they're cop dogs. And so it was a weird situation, but I'll never forget that Boston Terrier. Oh my God. You should have seen her face. She was psychotic, I swear. Talking to me. And I told her, I was like, I can help you if you want. But actually, I said, before I do any training with this dog, you need to take her to the vet. And she hadn't been to the vet in like 2 or 3 years. And they took her to the vet and they found out she did have a medical issue that would cause a great deal of stress and anxiety in the dog. And so it wasn't anything I needed to train or correct. It was a medical issue. And that's another thing. Please, if your dogs start acting weird and crazy, take them to the vet and just, get a little blood work done, because you might find out that something is actually medically wrong, and you're blaming it on them, thinking this is like, they're doing it out of anger. I mean, dogs don't pee on your floor because they're pissed at you. They if they're trained to go outside, and if they're allowed to go outside after they eat and drink, they shouldn't have accidents on the floor. But if they are, there could be something wrong with their bladder. There could be a problem. It could be neurological. It could be something that's fixed with a $5 prescription. So please look after your little critters and find out that way. But anyway, yeah. So I think when I look at Princeton, I'm just going to remember that funny day in the park. And the mayor, oh my Lord, she sent over a pup box. And it was a puppy box full of treats and cookies and toys. And she's like, I just want to say thank you. I'm so proud that I have them in my little town. I just love, look, it shifted again. Look, they're moving by themselves. I'm not even touching these guys. Weird, right? Anyway, She's a doll. She's just a live in Texas, like big hair, big eyes, big heart. And I just adored her. I adored her. She was a little eccentric, but I just loved her. And so anyway, yeah. So that is my Boston Terrier story. Now, have I come across Boston Terriers since then? I don't think I have. I really don't. I don't think I have. It has been a hot minute since I saw or met a Boston Terrier. We don't have a lot of them here in Texas, and I don't know why. Probably the cost, if nothing else. I mean, they're not low dollar dogs, you know. They're high dollar coming out of the gate. They're not high maintenance to care for. Um, and they are so smart. But I mean, they really are. They're one of the smartest dogs, you know. But I just don't know why I haven't seen a lot of them around here. Huh. Anyway, well, probably because I don't go to the public dog parks as much. Like I said, I have the two biggest dogs in the yard, and I don't want anybody. Well, first, since COVID and everything, I mean, some people actually said there's a report in Texas that someone actually had a dog that died from COVID. Who knew? Oh my God. I went into panic mode when I heard that. I was like, that's it. Nope, we're locking it up right now. So, yeah, dog parks are not a popular place for me. I'm always worried about what they're going to pick up from other dogs. And, I have them vaccinated, of course, for the parvo and all of that. But I still, um, it's a little too high energy for me. I like to take them quiet places where we can just, walk it off and chill out. But they do go to public events where there's a lot of people and a lot of noise. And, you know, so I can handle that, but I don't know. I think I'm just not as trustworthy of other dog owners as I used to be. I'm a little more wary these days. Especially since people are stealing dogs. Like they're stealing them right out of people's hands on the sidewalk. Oh my God. I can't believe this is a thing now. Um, so yeah, it's a weird time in dog world. But anyway, okay, I just wanted to tell a little dog story, hang out with you guys for a moment, and say hello. Um, I hope you're all just doing good. I really do. Anyway, it's probably gonna be manicotti for dinner, only because I opened the refrigerator and a container full of ricotta cheese jumped off the shelf disrespectfully, flung itself on my foot. Now I have ricotta foot because it cracked open at the bottom. I was so mad. I was so mad. Anyway, it just, the tin, it was a plastic container, it just cracked like around the side. I don't know. I may use it, I may not. I gotta, but I just threw it back in the refrigerator and said, don't you dare do that again. I am now talking to the food in the refrigerator, people. I think it's time for us to get out a little bit. So I gotta get dressed and I gotta pop over to Costco and see what they have to say about the world and see what's going on there. And I gotta find my mask. I only have like 3 of them now, but I do have the disposable ones. Oh, they are so light and so nice. And yeah, I'm really liking them. I wish I'd found them sooner in all of this. But hopefully pretty soon we won't have to wear them at all. But in the meantime, better safe than sorry. I don't have time for sorry. I don't want to be one of those balding, scared women on a ventilator crying, saying, I wish I'd remembered. I wish I'd gotten vaccinated. It, look, you know what? Please do what's right for you. But, do what's right for your family too. If you live with others, think of them as much as you're going to think of yourself. I'm not one to tell people to get vaccinated or not to. I'm not a doctor and I don't know your situation. But for me today, I feel like I'm safer with it on. I'm not quite ready to throw it out the window yet. But a time will come. We'll have a mask burning party. Anyway, Until that day, I will just be wearing it. I'll see you soon. I hope everybody's good. Have a great, great Sunday. And oh yeah, there is a cool series on Amazon right now, Amazon TV, and it's called Solos. Helen Mirren, um, Morgan Freeman. I mean, we're talking about Anne Hathaway, like A-list actors, like big, big, big movie actors, and they do like a show, and it's kind of like a solo show. Like they do it basically. They're like 30, maybe 40-minute shows. Oh, they're so good. You guys, tell me if you like it. Go watch one. Watch the Helen Mirren one first. Because I'm a space nerd, so I love space. But it is so interesting how how they film it, and like, I mean, these are actors that can carry your attention for the time span. And it's called Solos, and it's like 5 or 6, maybe 7 shows. I don't know how many, but anyway, I'm gonna go dig into one tonight, or maybe 2, because John and I love them. So go check it out. And you guys have a really, 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 really fabulous day. Shine on, people. Shine, shine, shine. Bye, bye, bye.